Hello, Algebra students. Are you ready to review our skills of solving inequalities? Here we go. 108 is greater than or equal to 5k minus k. Now remember, whether you're solving equations or inequalities, if you can simplify, it will make your life easier. And we can see some simplification here on the right-hand side of this inequality. 5k and k are like terms. I can combine them. So if I have 5k's and I take away a single k, I will have 4k left. Now simplifying never ever affects the inequality symbol or the other side. So we're going to see those unchanged. And now there's no more simplifying to do on the right. I can't multiply together 4 and k. So it's time to start isolating that variable, working to get it alone. In order to do so, I use opposites. So the opposite of 4 multiplying k is 4 dividing, or dividing by 4. And of course, I can do that only if I keep my relationship the same between the two sides. And so I'm going to go ahead and divide the other side by 4 as well. On the right-hand side of my inequality, multiplying by 4 and dividing by 4 are opposites. They cancel. K's alone just like I wanted. I still haven't done anything to change that relationship between the two sides, so it's still a greater than or equal to sign. And then 108 divided by 4 is, 27. Beautiful. 27. Now this is true, but I'm not done yet because, as we've talked about, with inequalities especially, it's normal to put your letter on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. So I'm actually going to flip it. Instead of saying 27 is greater than or equal to k, I'm going to start with k. And of course, if I flip the two sides, I flip the relationship because I'm bringing the bigger number over to the other side and the smaller number over to the other side. So final answer, k is less than or equal to 27. Next one, 6x is less than 5x plus 2. Now, be careful. Don't try to combine the 6x and the 5x here. See how they're on either side of the inequality symbol? They cannot currently combine. If I'd like to get them together, which I actually do need to do, I would have to use opposites. But I think what I want to point out first before I start that is, look, it won't simplify. There's no work to do on the left. I can't do 5x plus 2 on the right because those aren't like terms. So yeah, it is time to start moving back and forth across the equal sign with this one. And I think I'll start just how I said I would. I'll subtract 5x from both sides so that I can get my x terms together. And of course, like we talked about, we move terms through addition and subtraction. I'm not breaking up 5 and x through division. I'm taking the whole 5 and x together using subtraction. So if I have 6x's and I take away 5x, I just have a single solitary x, just x. Now, can you write 1x? Of course you can, guys, but if you do, you're adding an extra step. So 6x minus 5x is x. And I've done nothing to change the inequality symbol. Subtracting doesn't change things. It's multiplying or dividing by a negative. And 5x minus 5x, well, that zeroes out. It cancels out. So I have nothing plus 2. And so this one was simpler than it looks. It's almost like these ones that are simple really mess with people more than the more challenging ones. You guys are like, it can't be that easy. Yep, it was that easy. X is less than 2. Next example. -5 times the quantity of p plus 11 is less than or equal to 95. There's a couple of different ways to deal with this one, but I think what I'll do is follow my wisdom principle of simplifying before I solve. And I sure do see some simplifying I can do on the left-hand side. With that -5 shoved up against the parentheses, it is multiplying. I can go ahead and distribute it, pass it out. So -5 times p is -5p, and -5 times positive 11 is -55. And that whole thing is going to be less than or equal to 95. Simplifying never, ever affects the inequality sign or the other side. And now if you look at that left-hand side, there's no more simplifying I can do. I can't do negative 5p minus 55. And so it's time to start isolating that variable, getting that letter alone by using opposites. And of course, I do the opposite order of operations when I'm doing this. So I'll move anything adding or subtracting first. So I'm going to add 55 to both sides of the inequality. Subtracting 55 and adding 55 cancel. So what do I have left on that side? I have negative 5p. I'm going to kind of move over a little bit, you guys. Adding is never going to do anything to that inequality symbol. And 95 plus 55, well, I think that gives me 150. Awesome. And now I have this negative 5 shoved up against p to get rid of. Now, careful, don't add 5. They're shoved together, so they're multiplying. I'm going to divide by exactly what I want to get rid of. I'm going to divide by negative 5. And of course, I can do whatever I want here. If I keep those two sides of the inequality with the same relationship, basically. So I'm dividing both sides by negative 5. But remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative, it actually changes the relationship. So I need to see that flip of your inequality symbol there. So negative 5 divided by negative 5, or multiplying by negative 5 and dividing by negative 5 are opposites. They cancel. P is alone, just like I wanted. Like I said, we flipped the relationship there when we divided by a negative. And 150 divided by negative 5 is negative 30. Final answer is P is greater than or equal to negative 30. All right. Hey, let's clear all this so you guys don't freak out with the fractions. I think we need to get rid of distractions. Okay, bust out your calculator, guys. We're going to use that. But I need you to be careful with signs. Let's take a look at this example. It says 1 1/4 minus 3p is greater than 2 3/4. All right, so wisdom principle 1 says simplify the left and the right-hand side. Well, there's no simplifying I can do. The right-hand side's just a number. The left-hand side, those aren't like terms. I can't combine them. Wisdom principle number 2 said bring all the p terms together. Well, I only have p terms on one side. So all I need to do really here is solve this guy. But it looks scary because of the fractions. But don't panic. Just think about it if it was a regular number. Which one would I be getting rid of first? Well, I get rid of whatever number is adding or subtracting with p first. Do you see how that number is separated from p by that minus sign? That's the term, the thing adding or subtracting with p. And so I'm going to get rid of it first. And be careful. It's not that I have to cancel out the minus. It's that I have to make this thing zero out. I need the 1 1/4 to go away. And so since it's positive, I'm going to subtract it. And I'm going to do that on both sides. If I have 1 1/4 and I take it away, there's nothing over there. But then I have nothing minus 3p. So that minus, it's still there. It was the 3p that was subtracting, and I haven't dealt with it yet. Subtraction doesn't change that inequality symbol. It's multiplying and dividing by a negative. That does. And then 2 3/4 minus 1 1/4. That one's actually not really that bad. You can do it in your calculator if you want, but this one subtracts really simply because I can do 3/4 minus 1/4. That's 2/4 or 1/2. And I can do 2 minus 1. That's 1. And so that one's pretty simple, but you can certainly feel free to type it in your calculator. All right, almost done. P is not alone yet. It has a negative 3 dividing it, or I'm sorry, multiplying it. So I will do the opposite. I will divide. And again, feel free to do that fraction work in your calculator. Multiplying by negative 3 and dividing by negative 3 cancel. I got p alone, just like I wanted to, but oh no! I divided by a negative. I was about to forget. I've got to flip my inequality symbol. Instead of having a greater than, I'm going to have a less than. And then 1 1/2 divided by negative 3. I can race you guys. You can put it in your calculators, but I know, like, wow, if I have 3 halves and I break it into 3 equal pieces, well, I'm just going to have a single half, but that was negative 3. So when you do it in your calculator, you should get negative 1/2. And guys, if you don't know how to use your calculator with mixed numbers, go back to that lesson of Crucial Basics. That was lesson 6 of Crucial Basics. You guys should be calculator ninjas by now. All right. Good work. Super proud of you guys. Happy learning.